All right, yes, it is. It's a Tuesday, and we can do this on the September 15th, just barreling through the month. Where is it going? September's just flying by, and it's National Cheeseburger Day. We'll be getting those cheeseburgers going on today, I hope. A great show for you today. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to check in with Chef Corey Baker. He's going to head off our fall dinner series. A great lineup for you with Corey Baker, Kyle Mendenhall, Alex Seidel, Scott Hiberneth, and Chef Rebecca Weissman. That's 5 days in a row. We'll tell you how you can participate in that fall dinner series coming right up. But again, this Tuesday, here we go, back from Florida. Brian's off today. He's taking care of some stuff with his family. Jay, how are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. You know, it's a weird world we live in, and I'm trying to adjust like everybody else, and it's one foot in front of the other, man.
As we navigate through the zombie apocalypse, he's our friend and yours. He's here with us today, and we're just catching up as I get back from Florida. Chris Fuselier, good to see you, Chris.
Hey, great to see you guys again.
Blake Street Tavern. Lots to catch up on. Traveling's interesting.
Yeah, I want to hear all about it.
Well, I think the thing that stood out the most, and maybe we can start out a conversation with this as we watch idly, in my estimation, bars and restaurants and the moms and pops and people everywhere just trying to hang on as their restaurants and bars are just starting to disintegrate, piling people into an airplane. Nuts to butts. No social distancing. You have to wear your mask. These huge corporate conglomerates, boy, they sure get a pass when it comes to what safety is. Just turn a blind eye and pack them into an airplane. But you know what? Your business, you got to close it down early. You got to do that last call. You've got to have a capacity limit.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, the governor well, I won't blame this one on the governor. I can't blame the flights, but the government just continues to pick winners and losers, and winners are airlines and by the way, were the middle rows, were they sold?
Oh, are
okay.
you kidding me?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and if there was an open seat because you didn't pay for an upgrade,
Yeah.
you're not going to get it. You're going to stay in your seat. But
Yeah.
it's just an interesting.
And you had a long flight.
It's a 4-hour flight.
Wow,
It's a
jeez,
4-hour
man.
flight.
I better stay away from you today.
Keep
I
your
don't
mask
know,
on.
man.
I'll tell you, and I feel great. And again, thank God. But here we are in Colorado. No new cases happening. Did you know that?
Yeah. I mean, you look at the numbers for Colorado compared to the rest of the nation.
Yeah.
And we're really, top 10 and, lowest numbers,
Yeah.
lowest rates, I mean, across the board. And we're still not on New York City or New York's quarantine list. I think there's, 34, 35 states. So things are still good here in Colorado. I do know that we had a spike, a little bit of a spike from Labor Day weekend. I found out about this morning on my Denver Restaurant Committee meeting. But and what
Kids are back in school.
Well, and that's exactly what the city was saying is that they're not blaming restaurants and bars. They're blaming college campuses, primarily dorms, fraternities, sororities. So I do know that there's some outbreaks going on at DU. We do know what's going on up in Boulder, Fort Collins. So, we knew that was going to happen, and that's going to continue to happen, especially that college age. But at least restaurants and bars aren't being blamed this time.
Well, and pointing the finger and inconsistency seems to be very consistent right now, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's just there's so many things, coming up. And, for those of us that have outdoor dining, I mean, it's full on right now, and it's been wonderful. And I know for ourselves at Blake Street with the return of football, it's been huge. And we had a phenomenal weekend with college football Saturday, pro football Sunday, Broncos game last night, Nuggets tonight. So we're taking full advantage of this great weather.
So hang on, you said it probably was a normal weekend.
I got to tell you something.
Was it over and above?
Our Sunday numbers were $6,000 higher than a year ago last Sunday.
Uh-huh.
That shocked me, and that's with distancing. And, the difference was because we have this beer garden now. But people were – it was like, wow, this is like back to pre-COVID times. I mean, we had a line out the door to come in the bar, and we had to turn so many people away at 11 a.m. And we now decided to open up a half hour early at 9:30 because we need that extra time just to seat people. And of course, try to take care of whatever whatever game they want to watch. So we're not just some normal restaurant. Okay, we'll take anything. No, I mean, we give you the indoor option, the outdoor option, and then you got to pick a game. But it's a good problem to have. I mean, we finally had Sunday was our best day in 6 months, and then Saturday would be our second best day. So last night was great too, except for the ending. But, that was kind of goofy, too, because, we had to go around last night at 10:30 saying, okay, we're going into the fourth quarter.
It was a late game. How
going to fourth quarter here, guys. And, we got the last call. So, that's a real irritant. I mean, here you are watching a great game. Broncos come back, take the lead. And then you as a customer have to decide, well, do I order another beer or not? I don't know, and that just kind of sucks. So, we need to get back to a normal last call.
And have that consistency is all that I'm asking for. And again, while that was going on, I was en route back in a 4-hour flight with 200 of my closest friends that I had no idea who they are. And meanwhile, you're trying to scramble inside your restaurant. So catch me up. So Frontier in particular, they said something to me that I thought was interesting. They said, did you know that we recirculate the air in this cabin every 3 minutes fully? 100%. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't think you're lying to me, but I don't know how that happens. 100% air circulation within 3 minutes. We're the collective, are going to figure out how restaurants can obtain something like that to be able for capacity inside.
Yeah, it's really
air recirculation.
Very challenging, and we are starting the research because we know right now Denver is with our patio expansion program. It's scheduled to end on October 31st. The city is really trying to work hard to extend it to the end of the year or actually make it permanent. So they're working with the state, and there's all kinds of obstacles there. But the thing is, though, is that whether we figure out how to do heaters and yurts or igloos or whatever, we know that we got to figure out how to make things better indoors because right now everybody's enjoying the outdoors. So I am looking at that, and I am getting together with my HVAC people, and we're trying to figure out, do you get this electrostatic thing here or you do this thing here? And, it's going to take some investment. And so many of us are still, have contentious negotiations with our landlords. I'm working on a new lease myself. And, am I going to invest this money if I'm not going to be around? So you got to deal with that. I really hope the city or the state, what we're asking for is them to come up with loans and grants, either low cost, low interest loans or free grants that will help us make these improvements with, whether it's indoor dining or outdoor dining, because, we're just all starving as it is right now. And many of us invested a lot of dollars in outdoor dining, and now we have to make the decision, do we do the same amount do we continue to do it for outdoor dining, to do like igloos or something, or do we focus on indoor?
Yeah. I'm going to need much smarter brains than myself to process this. But as I think of, government intervention needed to happen in order for PPP to take place, the IDL loans, just anything, any kind of cash infusion into businesses to keep them afloat. Now we're going to look at another second round of help. I don't know in what form, whether it's another PPP or what they'll call it. They'll call it something else. But shouldn't it be, if we know that this is not going to go away, this mindset with these optics, that we need to make sure people feel comfortable, and even our local politicians and bureaucrats to loosen regulation, to have something that says, okay, the feds or local government, you're going to have to kick in with the next that would be a first place to address, because that's money going in the right direction.
Exactly. So, in the past, we know there's been bailouts for the airline industry. And where is the coordinated bailout for the restaurant industry? Right now, article came out today, or a survey was done by the National Restaurant Association. we know that 17% of full-service restaurants have closed. Right now, 17%. So 1 in 6 have closed. We're seeing predictions that by the end of the year, I think it's going to be 30 to 40%. Because, a lot of us got PPP money.
Yeah.
Now that PPP money has run out. Now we're entering going into winter. Is there going to be a second wave? Are we going to be shut down again? I mean, to have a second shutdown would just be devastating. And I think more importantly, though, is that there needs to be messaging from the federal government, from the state government, from local governments, municipalities that, hey, we got to help out these restaurants. Let's support them. And if you're not feeling comfortable going to a restaurant, then at least support takeout and delivery. And I think I think I just shared with you prior to the program, though, that it's now come out, and is that we've been working on our Denver Restaurant Committee to put a cap on third-party delivery companies, a 15% cap on their fees for restaurants that we have to pay. So right now, if I were to have DoorDash or Uber Eats or Postmates or Grubhub, they take literally 30 to 40% of that order. It's very little margin for us to make any money on third-party delivery. Denver is going to copy essentially what's being done in New York City, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, where it'll be a 15% fee, which is a fair fee for those companies to make, and then for us to pay. So that's going to go in effect October 9th. And so that's good news, really good news. Unfortunately, my food, I consider myself having Denver's best nachos, and our chips don't travel well. So I'm not doing Chinese or pizza, but for the industry, it's going to be really helpful.
Catching up with Chris Fuselier, Blake Street Tavern and Tavern Group. There was a lawsuit, and this had to do with last call. It was 10 o'clock, 11 p.m. is where it stands now. Catch us up on that. The 11 p.m. goes away to regular times, or just wait until spoken to?
Yeah, and we had some bad news yesterday. The Tavern League, we had to dismiss our lawsuit against the state. And quite frankly, that was just for financial reasons. I mean, there's, asking for our industry to kick in money that would cost six figures for it to go into trial a year from now is absolutely the wrong time to be soliciting contributions. We're all starving in a sense, and that unfortunately that we had made a motion to expedite the trial, and it was denied. And the state has infinite resources. They're not like they have to worry about money to defend a lawsuit. But the original complaint of the lawsuit was about indoor capacity limits. That, just to remind you, that Colorado, the governor has chosen an arbitrary figure of 50 people per room, and it to 100 people max per facility. Whereas 45 other states have chosen to do 50% occupancy. So at a place like Blake Street Tavern, our occupancy is 900. If I was in Kansas, I could put 450 in there. Right now, I'm limited to 150. I actually got a variance to go to 150. I have 3 rooms for 50. But, that's 17% occupancy. I mean, you can't survive on that. And there's plenty of places that, that hold 150, 200 people in a room, but they're limited to 50. So that has got to change. I mean,
I keep thinking about that airlines.
I
keep thinking it's like your place is sprawling. And
I talked about, so Sunday we have our main bar area has got it's 7,000 square feet, and the occupancy is 440 people, and in normal times. And right now, I have 2 rooms in my main room that I could break up. So I'm limited to 100. but the occupancy is 440. So I'm at less than 25%.
Yeah.
And I got people sprawled out, and I got people walking in, and we got a line like, well, can I just sit at that table, or can I sit at that table? And I've got my counter in my hand going, no, I'm at 50. I'm sorry. Yeah. And the thing is, like my type of place, they're all watching games for 3.5 hours. So it's not like they're coming and going. Like a lot of restaurants, Greg, I'm sure you've had guests of saying that, they're limiting their seating to an hour and a half, right? Have you seen those signs?
Well, sure. Or less.
Yeah, or less, hour and a half, right? Us, I guess I could have a sign saying, hey, we're limiting our seating to 3.5 hours or less. I mean, because you're there for a game, right? So
give everybody a quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like mom and dad get the first half, and the aunts and uncles can have the second half.
Exactly. So it's really it's tough that these there has to be a change there, and the state has got to understand to come around to what the 45 other states are doing. And the thing is, though, we have the most the highest restrictions. Yet, like I said, we're in the top 10% in terms of lower cases. So there's got to be a change there. And I tell you what, next week you're asking about what's going to happen with that. Well, that was the other part of the lawsuit was when we were brought it to 10 p.m. So,
10 p.m. last call.
Yeah.
Then raised after a month
to
11.
We had asked to meet in the middle at midnight. We got to 11. Okay, we got to get to midnight this time. And I think that most of us could live with a midnight last call for a while. In my mind, if things continue to progress well here in Colorado, I would say midnight next week, and then another 30 days after that, go to 1 p.m. But if it sticks at midnight for a while, I think we can live with that. But geez,
what's the barometer?
I'll tell you what, though. This is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that the state's going to come back next week and say, well, the cases went up from Labor Day. And, even now City of Denver tells me they're blaming it on, college campuses. They're blaming it on Auraria and DU. Okay, and Regis. But the state might say, well, yeah, but we don't know exactly. Or we're just going to keep it the way it is. And so next week, man, if the governor does not move out to midnight, I tell you what, that's just another, knife in the back.
And as I listen to these things, and if there's a spike, it's not because school's back in session. It's not because people are gathering by the thousands at Bandamere. It's not because there's protests downtown. It's because the restaurants and bars are.
Well, and let's talk about Bandamere. And let's talk about the Broncos. So were you out of town when the governor announced that, the next game, 5,700 fans?
Which is interesting. I think I have some audio from that. Let's take a break if you can.
Yeah.
How's your time? We'll take a break.
I'm here as long as you need me.
I'm going to see if we actually have that audio. I do have that audio. It's in my phone. It's the audio of the governor basically saying, we're modeling how we're opening up Mile High to the great work that the restaurants have done. And we're modeling that by pods and what that'll look like. But it's to emulate what restaurants and bars are going through right now. When asked a direct question from Marty Lenz from 850 KOA about what is it that you're going to do, who are you going to defer to since you don't have anybody on your cabinet, your base team that has any service industry background, who are you going to look to for advice going forward? Totally sidestepped the question.
I appeared on with Marty in April's S-Ball yesterday.
Did you really? Okay, hang on to that.
Yeah, and I will tell you what I said to that.
All right, great. We'll come back. The Modern Eater Show continues.
We started Meridium Spirits because we love the way that spirits and cocktails can bring people together to socialize, to bond, to have conversations. Well, right now we've got some big conversations to have. Coop Vodka and Coop Gin are available at liquor stores across the metro area, but if you can't find us or would like to have us behind your bar or at your restaurant, send us an email, info@meridiumspirits.com. We know things are a little different these days, but think of us the next time you're planning a virtual happy hour or a socially distant picnic. And keep an eye on our social media, Coop by Meridium, for all the latest and greatest.
Hey, Dave Thibodeau here. Hey, friends of the Modern Eater. This is Dave Thibodeau from Ska Brewing and Peach Street Distillers. I wanted to let you know that our new brew distillery is up and running again in Boulder. And we've got a great selection of Ska beers, nearly 30 on tap. We've also got all of our Peach Street spirits available, a great mixology program that we brought down from the Western Slope in Palisade. We're open limited hours, Wednesday through Friday from 3 to 10. And then we open up earlier at 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday and get some brunch action rolling. We have 2 great patios. Socially distanced seating is available. And you can always check for more information at scastreet.com and hope we become your new favorite neighborhood spot. And I'd like to meet you there in the not too distant future for a beer or a drink soon. So take care, be healthy, and stay strong. And I'll talk to you later.
Hi guys, it's Cody Ann from Aspen Baking Company. We specialize in fresh, preservative-free, amazing bread. But with all the food news, go right here to the Modern Eater.
Hey, Zach Ryder here, Colorado Mills Sunflower Products out of Lamar, Colorado. Your only local source, grown from a local crop to produce a local oil for local chefs. You can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, Seattle Fish Company. Let me try it one more time, then we'll see. Hey, restaurants, we're glad you're reopening. From Colorado Mills Sunflower Oil, we'll see you soon.
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com.
Okay, welcome back to the show, and it's always a complete pleasure. Chris Fuselier here in the studio, Blake Street Tavern, and we're going to get back to just talking shop is what we're doing on a Tuesday, September 15th. But right now, let me tell you about Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solution. Everybody needs a guy, right, Jay? You got a guy?
I got a guy.
Everybody needs a guy. Chris, you got a guy?
I got a guy.
Everybody needs a guy. Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solutions. He's our guy. What does he do? He does a great build-out of custom tap installations. Any place you want him to go, he'll go there and do it. Beyond that, maintenance. Maintenance is very, very important because if you're pouring inefficient beer, boys, what are you doing?
You're pouring your money down the drain.
Don't pour it down the drain.
To...
Money is everything right now, and you need to really save those pennies. But beyond that, it's tacky when you're pouring beer into a pitcher, Jay. I was in a bar. I see them do that. They take the foam off there.
I spend nights.
They put it into another. Wouldn't that make your skin crawl there?
Just like, there's many a time where, where like I'm standing behind the bartender and I'm making sure she pours that pitcher right. I mean, it's just, oh my God. That's just money down the drain.
But sometimes it's not their fault, Chris.
The worst thing, too, is when they pour all the way to the top of the cup and they leave no head. It's like, are you just,
I took a class on how to pour beer, technically. I don't know if I could still do it.
Sometimes it's not operator error. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's temperature. Sometimes it's the glycol system. Sometimes things are just messed up internally. And Jeff Rourke, he'll make it happen for you. 720-272-3809. 720-272. Give him a call, 3809. It's Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solutions. Okay, before we broke off, Chris, we were talking, and we like to talk, and we like to talk about the governor. And it's not because we don't think that the governor's doing a great job. He's doing a great job in a lot of areas, I think.
Yes.
And I think Colorado's ahead of the game probably because of some of the decisions he's made.
I can agree with you.
So just to be fair on that front. But I also think the strangulation of and regulations of restaurants and bars and small businesses is probably a little bit beyond when inconsistency is consistent right now. And that's what really people are just looking for. So Broncos, nobody in the stands last night. And
right.
God bless them. That time management was terrible. That's a whole nother show. What is up with
call
that?
A timeout.
Man, run a little bit more time off the clock. The fans were missed.
Yes.
Right? I'm not so sure. The Broncos, I know how they play at Mile High with a stadium full of fans. Probably would have pulled that off.
Yeah. I mean, there's no home field advantage.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? I mean, other than altitude. But,
so what happens now? Jared Polis, the governor, made an appearance on CMN, Colorado's Morning News, on 850 KOA last week, talking about we're gonna let them in. We're gonna let some folks in, and here's what we're gonna do. You mind if I play? It's gonna be ghetto style because I didn't have time to transfer this over to my computer.
I'd love to hear this.
Play it.
Events, the governor now says the state and the Broncos moving ahead with plans to allow a limited number of fans in the stands, starting with the Week 3 game against Tampa Bay.
We are psyched about that. He also announced plans for an exposure notification service available to all Coloradans later this month. Let's get into all of that with Governor Polis. He joins us on our live line. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, April and Marty. What a strange September snow day, huh?
Yeah, it is weird. But hey, we're going to get back to summer, it sounds like, by this weekend. So let's start with the Broncos fans and the good news for them. How did you come up with the number of fans allowed inside the stadium?
Well, this is a really thoughtful proposal. Both the Broncos and us, really everybody wants to be able to have as much normalcy as we can. And really, they have a big stadium. Well, we've all been there. What a great place to play football. And what they're doing is they're essentially having pods. Each pod is consistent with the kind of outdoor guidance we have, events of 175, using their own entrance, bathrooms, etc., so that if there is a positive case from one of those, it's likely contained, and the warnings and the quarantines really only go out for the 175 people that were there rather than the whole crowd. So it really gives a pathway back for how larger venues can have, events of significant size during a pandemic. I mean, the answer is never to say no. It's to figure out how to do it in a reasonably safe way, and the Broncos, classy organization, have done a great job.
I don't want to get out over my skis, Governor, but it makes me think about the Rockies. Are they on deck, if you will, pun intended, to have fans eventually go to Coors Field?
Absolutely. We'd actually been pretty far along in figuring that out. I think the fans would actually be back now if Major League Baseball was allowing it. So MLB, just like NFL made a decision to allow this, Major League Baseball has to allow it, and then we're ready to go, and I think the Rockies are ready to go. Again, with reasonable numbers and doing it a safe way, they're going to run through the operations and do it. But I think the Rockies are excited to have a few folks back before the season ends too, and I think we can make it happen in a safe way.
So what do you say to other business owners like bar and restaurant owners who want their guidelines loosened and think that you may be playing favorites with the Broncos?
Well, right now, most restaurants are able to be outside, and many are at 100% capacity or more. What obviously, now we have snow this week. We're not worried about that for most of September. Most of October is quite nice. But obviously, as we get into November and December, trying to figure out how we can have more capacity for restaurants is really a top priority, because a lot of those outdoor seating situations aren't going to be as viable in December and January on those cold days.
I don't want to hit too hard, Governor, but from what I understanding is you don't have anybody on your task force that has any, if you want to say, hospitality expertise or experience. Is that the case, that can really give you a greater granular sense of what restaurants and how they operate and what they need?
I think restaurants are among the most active folks that we hear from, talk to. They were part of the process that came up with the guidelines. Nobody wants to be able to operate safely more than the restaurants themselves. So they're part of the solution, figuring out how we can have more capacity through winter in a safe way without a setback. There's states that didn't take the steps we have, and restaurants had to close. Restaurants had to have no indoor dining. We don't want to go there. We want to go forward, as I said, more indoor dining, not less indoor dining.
Let's shift gears and talk about schools.
All right, reaction. There's a lot said there.
I was interviewed by April and Marty yesterday, and they brought that up. And it's true. The governor has nobody in his inner circle that has any type of restaurant, bar, hotel, hospitality experience, let alone small business owner experience. It's incredibly frustrating that he does not, he's got his epidemiologist in his inner circle. He's got other people, but not with our industry. And so, and the thing is, when he says that he has talks with people in the industry, they're not talks. They were talks. Greg and you and I talked about this in the very beginning, back in May, I did applaud the governor's decision for us to wait until the end of May, whereas like Texas and Arizona opened up the beginning of May, and then they had problems. We opened up a little bit later, and that worked out great, and that was a collaborative process. The governor sent out proposed guidelines on a Tuesday. We had a town hall on Thursday, and then he came back with the guidelines that we have right now. But when, like, the original proposal was like 8 feet distancing, not 6 feet.
Yeah.
Was a 10 p.m. closure.
Everybody wear gloves.
Everybody wear gloves.
Don't eat inside if you're not a patient.
So he took our suggestions, and that was collaborative.
Yeah.
But since then, it has not been collaborative. Because when the governor came out with the 10 p.m. last call, he literally called up Sonia Riggs, head of the Colorado Restaurant Association, and said, I'm wondering about whether, when do restaurants close? And she said, well, some close at 10, but others stay open. And, there's service industry workers. And then the next thing you know, out of the blue, he makes this announcement. That was not collaborative. The 11 p.m. last call was not collaborative. We were asking for midnight. If he had just given us that one extra hour, everybody would have been off his back. It would have been a great PR move. We all would have said, thank you, Governor. But then they come up, what's the science and data from going from 10 to 11? So, it's incredibly frustrating.
Do you think there's a difference in any kind of numbers or spikes?
Absolutely. Well, like at my place, we get all kinds of service industry workers that come in after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
let me rephrase that. Maybe I didn't say it right. Do you think that there's an actual noticeability difference between the 10 and 11 p.m. to where they're saying, you know what, that worked. I'm glad we did that. Do you really see that moved the needle in any other way than hurting your pocket?
I think that any restaurant operator would say that we don't manage any differently whether it's 11 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night. So it doesn't change that all of a sudden the behavior gets worse. And the other thing, too, keep in mind, guys, liquor stores have been open all along till midnight. Okay, we're not even allowed to do to-go drinks after 11. Yeah. I mean, how ridiculous. Yeah. So you can go to Argonaut, buy a 6-pack Coors Light at 11:30.
It's frustrating.
But you cannot go to Blake Street Tavern and get it. Even though we have the alcohol to go program, we are forbidden after 11 o'clock. So, you know what? I hate to keep bringing this up, but the governor, besides not having money in his inner circle, let's just talk about his personal beliefs. His personal beliefs is he doesn't drink. Secondly, he admitted at one of his press conferences, I have been to a restaurant 3 times in 5 months. Yeah. And Greg, I'm okay. I'm okay if he doesn't feel comfortable taking his family to a restaurant. Yeah. Fine, but at least say, but gosh darn it, I support takeout and delivery. And there's just been zero, positive messaging. And for him to tie in the Broncos, I'll give you my opinion about the Broncos situation here too. But I think it's so unfair that I applaud that the Broncos got this done. I personally know Brittany Bolin. She's a customer of mine at Blake Street Tavern. She's a Notre Dame alumnus. We're a home of Notre Dame. She's a wonderful person, and I'm glad she got this done. So they get 7% capacity. How about this, though? Red Rocks, Nathaniel Liff is going to play their 6 shows. Yeah. End of the month. They're limited to 175. Yeah. So that's a facility that's 9,250 people, 175. That's at 2%.
You can't do these comparisons. You'll drive yourself nuts. Yeah. You can't do it.
So the goalpost, so it's like we're going to take care of the Broncos. Yeah. Everyone loves the Broncos. Sure. But gosh darn it, how about all these hotels with huge venues, huge ballrooms, huge whatever they could do outside? They're limited to 175. So, and they've been fighting for months. Yeah. So, it was a political savvy move on the governor to do this with the Broncos. But let's be serious here. What about us little small timers, the rest of the businesses that have been fighting for this over the last 6 months?
Okay, so top priority is what he says. Top priority to increase capacity for restaurants and bars going into the fall. Crystal ball time. What do you think, Chris? What do you figure that top priority is? How do you increase it?
Well,
and how is he going to help?
He doesn't. This is not complicated, guys. You just do what the 45 other states do. You just make it 50%. Period. It's 50% with 6-foot distancing. That's what it is. And then every restaurant bar in Colorado can understand that. if you change the metrics to this complicated social distance calculator they have in place right now, no one's going to understand it. I guarantee you, the Mexican restaurants that are not, they're not visiting restaurants where the people speak a different language and explaining them what would happen in the social distance calculator. There needs to be quite simple, 50%. And then it needs to go above that. Now, they are changing things. If you're a county and if you can move to another phase, it can go to like 60%, 70%. But we've got to get, as the CRA says, we have to be at least 75% to be profitable. Mm-hmm. We're 6 months into this. I mean, we can't go a year being, or even another 3 more months being at the levels that we're at right now.
Yeah, tensions are getting high, and we're watching it happen as we visit with each other every couple of weeks and see, like, wow, how much long? It's like walking the plank. Just walking the plank blindfolded. You don't know when you're going to drop off, and you don't know who's going to help you or you're going to get help.
The goalposts keep moving. I really hope the Broncos can help pave the way for everybody else. And it's interesting. But Greg, how about this? I mean, so the Broncos are going to be at 7% capacity, right? The Chiefs last week, they had 17,000 fans. So they're at 22%.
I can't do that anymore. I cannot do the comparisons anymore.
Yeah, no,
especially after I just got off a full flight from Florida to Colorado, 200 people on it. Don't know any of them. You do wear your masks, but it's okay. You turn a blind eye. And why? There's going to be some big problems coming up, you guys, and the inconsistency is really making Americans, left and right, go, here's the problem. The problem is that regulation is so high that you don't know when to say no anymore. You don't know when to say, you know what, you're overstepping your boundaries. This hasn't gone through any kind of constitutional formatting of, what happened to voting on anything anymore. It's just a mandate that comes down. And that's a very hard pill to swallow right now with a lot of people.
It really is. And I think that it's going to be interesting with the election, what happens there. But I think right now that there needs to be some checks and balances. And the governor has very broad executive powers. And there's no checks and balances with the legislature. So there's got to be something that happened, because if this continues to go on for a lot longer, then does that mean that a governor has 4 years to do whatever he wants? Yeah. There's got to be checks and balances. And so, we're going to keep up the good fight.
Yeah. What else can you do?
It's like you said, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Well, yeah, I don't know. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Number
one Nuggets fan. Nuggets going to win tonight?
Boy, I tell you what, I think they got a great chance to win tonight. I think the Clippers have all the pressure. I think they're going to go out there and have some fun. And I tell you what, boy, that would really be something if we had a series with Jamal and the Joker against LeBron and the Brow. So
spoken like a true Nuggets fan.
Can I just chime in for the first time? And I feel so when I bartended, and as you know, it's for many, many years, right? And one of the things, like probably the past 5 years in the business, and I hate to tell this story and be this guy, but when I'm at the bar and the game, and this is Nuggets specific, and the Nuggets are coming on, or whatever. Always at the end, when somebody would come in and be like, hey, is the Nuggets game on? Or I'm sorry, during the game or at the end, when people would come in and be like, where are the Nuggets at? This and that, I'd always say, hey, man, I'll save you the trip. They lost. And I would just say, because they're bad and they've been bad for a long time. I know I feel terrible, but not terrible enough not to tell that part. But that's what I'd say. They'd be like, "What TV?" I'm like, "I'll save you."
And I'm sure it didn't surprise them either. It's tough being a fan here in Denver, especially growing up. Broncos when I was a kid. Whew, that was tough. Some of the whoopings that we took.
Oh, God.
Finally, Elway.
Raiders owned us. Yeah, still remember those days.
Oh, man, the world we're living in right now. Well, we'll keep beating the drum and doing the things that we can do, and hopefully regulations lift. I'm so happy to hear that this past weekend just did great things for you guys.
Yeah, it was like back to downtown the way it's supposed to be. And the good news is that I surveyed a lot of customers, like, where, have you been here before? And they said, no, but we tried to go over to SportsCom, we tried to go over to Jackson's, and they were sold out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just Blake Street Tavern that did well. It's just that, a lot across the board that they're sold out. Well, but let's but it makes sense because when you're only limited to 50 people per room. So, but you know, and you know what reminded me too this weekend is that as much as we support the Avalanche, the Nuggets, the Rockies, this is still football town. I mean, football rules, right? You know, yeah, and that's what's so disappointing about last night with the Broncos. But football brings people out, so it's great for my business. And you know, it's you know, hopefully the weather continues to stay good. Tonight's going to be great. And boy, if we win tonight, I hear Game 1 for Lakers would be Friday night. So I am not making any Friday night plans just yet.
I want Nuggets to win for you. I want your business and Bursons too, man. I worry about. Mark.
Well, we any of us that are involved with sports, we really need the Nuggets to win because, quite frankly, I thought it would be the other way around. I thought it was going to be the Avalanche that would go really far, right? And you know, the injuries killed them, but it is because we've been waiting a long time for sports to return, and you know, it's going to be different because whenever the Nuggets are done, they're not going to come back till Christmas time. Same thing with hockey. So all we're going to have left is baseball, and the Rockies are fading like crazy. So it's really going to be primarily football.
Yeah. Boy, let's get back on track with that. I love talking to you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for lunch.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
I hope you like that. And you like the buffalo chicken wrap and that turkey club sandwich.
And Blake Street Tavern.
Keep saying that because I've got the pictures.
Do you really?
Yeah, and I forgot to put them up until we just started talking
about it. Show some pictures. Talk about your food. Talk about coming down to see you. Talk about any kind of specials you got going on.
I would have brought you Denver's best nachos, but like I said, they don't travel well.
I'll be down.
And you guys can't eat during the show. So we got you a couple items that do travel better. The turkey club sandwich is really good. We got some guacamole, avocado on that. That's really good. The buffalo chicken wrap, you know, you went healthy, guys. You went grilled. Most people go fried.
Yeah.
Because that's a real hangover helper is doing that. You do the combination of the hot and the fried. That's really good. You know, we always think we have a great burger. I think our wings are good. But, you know, I invite anybody to come down to Blake Street to check out our nachos. Yeah. That's what we're really known for.
Yeah, it's support.
And we do have some salads, too. So we're not just all unhealthy. But, you know, if you're looking for some great comfort food while watching a ball game, you got to go with the nachos.
Yeah, and a wide-open palatial space to where you could probably lay down a king-size bed and not be.
and you know what? We've got I'll tell you a quick story, though, and then I'll let you guys go. But last week, we got investigated by Denver Department of Public Health, and they came in at Friday night, 8:30, and someone had alleged that my staff was not wearing masks and there's no social distancing at the bar. And I had just left the bar, and then my manager called me and said, you might want to turn around and come back here. But, you know, I tell you what's bogus is this is the new one-star Yelp review, Greg, is that people that are disgruntled customers, whatever, they're going to turn you in with an anonymous complaint, and DDPHE has an obligation to check out those complaints. Now, what I'm not happy about is they're coming at a Friday night at 8:30, my busiest time. Yeah, that's the new reality now, is that this is how we're going to stick it to a restaurant or bar, is I'm going to call it public health and make up lies.
Man, listen, and this may send you over the top, and I hope it doesn't, but, you know, I live out in Aurora, right, and I wouldn't name any names, but I talked to a sports bar owner out there who flat out told me, I'm like, man, how you coping with all this stuff? He's a friend of mine. How you coping with all this stuff and the regulations, man? And specifically, at the time, it was 10 o'clock for the last call. He literally told me to my face, he goes, I don't do it. He goes, I just wait until if they come in and slap me on the wrist or fine or whatever. He goes, and it's out of frustration. It wasn't like he's that guy, but he's just like, I'm at the point now where he goes, I hear stories like that on a Friday night where somebody makes a complaint and they come in, and it's like, are you going to catch anybody doing on a Friday night that they shouldn't be doing? It's like, yeah, you are, just like in any other aspect in the world of pouring a cup of water in a hand sink, and if the health inspector sees that, it's like, oh, writing you up for that, nothing can go. It's like that whole thing. He literally, Chris, just says, I don't do it. He goes, I stay open, and I serve. Now, he said he serves till midnight. He goes, I serve until midnight. And then I cut it off. He goes,
careful.
he's like, the hell with
Dealing
all the
with
rest
your
of
liquor
it.
license.
No, but here's the difference, though. He's in Aurora. He's part of Tri-County Health. And Tri-County Health is I was at a biker bar in Douglas County 2 weeks ago. Employees not wearing masks. It was like going back in time.
Yeah.
There was no distancing. Yeah. There was a band performing. People are dancing from no 25-foot distance. It was like back in time, the good old days. And, that was obnoxious. Now, that I felt uncomfortable. I left after 5 minutes. But am I going to leave? If I'm going to walk into a bar at 11 o'clock and they're still serving, big deal. I mean, I'm not going to walk out of there. Oh, okay, because COVID just started for me at 11:01. But it's true, and there's a difference in the health departments because Denver is so much more enforcement and on top of things. Tri-County is just a mess. It's that's a whole nother show, Greg. Get me going on Tri-County. They, Aurora, Adams County, and Douglas County is trying to succeed from Tri-County, do their own health department. So all those bars and restaurants in Douglas County, they're all giving the middle finger. They're like, come after me. Because you know what, though? No one's going to enforce it. We're leaving. We're succeeding from you. We are the rebels. So trust me. Go down to Castle Rock, guys. Go down to Sedalia. It's a wild west down there.
Time and time again, and there's good business owners everywhere to when restaurant and bars become outlawed. Restaurant and bar owners become outlaws. And it doesn't need to happen, but you're still on the other side of it. I can't. When you start making some weird decisions, what are you doing now, Fuselier? Well, let me tell you, I'm open until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? And I've said this in the City of Denver Restaurant Committee. I go because we also have the higher minimum wage in Denver. I go, you know what? Things that are going on here in Denver makes you really think about I never would have thought about having a bar down in Douglas County. Or Glendale. How about Glendale's right next door? That's a Wild Wild West. I go, maybe I open up a new Blake Street Tavern in Glendale because you know what? They're not going to enforce the rules like they do in Denver. And
you want to do things right,
and I want to do things right, but I also have I gotta feed a family. I gotta provide for myself.
You're living the life of a movie where the cop turns in his badge and gun and says, "I'm still going out. I'm still going to go catch the bad guy." You know what I mean? That's the feeling to where you don't want to do that, and you try to do everything by the book in the right way, and everybody's against you.
All right,
man.
go Nuggets, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
all right. Well,
Chris.
thanks, guys. Have a good
love
one.
you to death, man. We'll see you soon for sure. Blake Street Tavern. Go down and see them for sure. And get the nachos. Why not? He's been super, super patient. We are going to break away, regroup. Chef Corey Baker, he's going to open up our fall dinner series, an FDS, fall dinner series, falldinnerseries.com. I love you, man. We'll see you soon. Chris Fuselier exiting the building, going back to work, I'm sure. So the Nuggets, he's wearing Murray's jersey. So Corey Baker, Chef, thanks for being patient. We'll come right back with Chef Corey Baker right here. The Modern Eater Show continues.
Hi, guys. It's Rebecca Berry with Hot Schedules powered by Ford. With all of the recent COVID rules and regulations, you may feel like you have way too many cooks in the kitchen. Well, fortunately, Ford is the leading hospitality provider and partner when it comes to onboarding, HR, payroll, tax, and compliance needs. So that way you can keep all of those cooks in the kitchen and let us manage all of your administrative needs. That way you can focus back on your business and your growth plans. Give me a call for an analysis on how we can put that ROI back into your business and take those administrative burdens off your hands, because nobody likes handling taxes. That's Rebecca.berry@forth.com, Rebecca.berry@forth.com. And hey, you know what's cool, guys? Keeping your mask on so that way we can keep our doors open.
Hey, Modern Eater fans. I'm Don Trobo with The Annex by Ardent Mills, and I just wanted to give you a heads up about some of the great things we've got going on locally in the state. We're headquartered right here, and we're working with farmers in the San Luis Valley to bring you amazing Colorado quinoa. It's just like the South American stuff, but grown locally. We've got transitional wheat flour that's grown by farmers in Colorado and surrounding states who are in the process of turning their fields into organic. So we're taking that transitional wheat and turning it into flour, and now it's available for you to cook and bake with. And last but not least, we're now cleaning grain berries in Denver. So things like spelt or wheat berries or pearl barley, those are things that we're now doing right here locally and are available to you. Can't wait to share it with you.
Hey, Colorado restaurant and food service operators. This is Rich O'Brien along with Pearson Shields over here at Elevation Food Service Reps. And we wanted to let you guys know that at the end of the month, on the 23rd and 24th, here at our global headquarters in Park Hill, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, we're going to be having our demo sale where you can buy great products gently used for an excellent price. And we want to invite you over. And, you know, chefs, I know you all know Pearson, and he can vouch that these are pretty good products. Going to be a good price.
No, absolutely. We used them, gently used them, and we're super excited. We're doing some good food as well. Some
Well,
brisket,
you.
some chicken.
Yeah.
I'll be cooking.
Yeah, we got Pearson cooking. And hey, guys,
Excited.
come over this way, too. And don't mind the young woman right there. She's just kind of hanging out and hiding. But we have all this equipment here that we're going to be doing our best to sell and get out of here. So any questions, give us a call over here at Elevation, 303-750-3727, or at elevationfs.com. And if you have any questions about the equipment, just give Pearson a holler. Thanks, guys.
Hey there, Barbecue All-Star. This is your year, so what if you weren't drafted? The only draft you need to be worried about is actually spelled D-R-A-U-G-H-T, and it's adult for the word beer. It's barbecue season, baby. Now get out there and grill your ass off.
Hey guys, it's Brian Rizzuto with Encore Energy, the guy who saves your businesses money on natural gas. I know these are crazy, crazy times right now, so while your business is working on increasing your sales, let me work on saving you guys money on your natural gas. I'll make it as easy as possible. Just provide 12 months worth of natural gas bills to me. I'll do the rest. I know you're really busy, so let me get to work for you. You can reach me at 720-245-5771. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and let me try to save you some money in these crazy times. Bye.
Hi, Charlie from Brews Beers here, and I'd like to tell you about our brand new Abbey 4-pack, featuring the 4 main products of Abbey and Trappist breweries in Belgium. So there's the single, the double, the triple, and the quadruple. And let's talk about singles today. Singles or ankles are traditionally monks beers served at meal times and during the day. They're low in alcohol, 3 to 5.5%, and they're often second runnings from stronger beers like triples or quadruples. This one is 3.8% ABV, and it's made from the second runnings from our triple. So what they're known for is lightness and drinkability. They're biscuity flavor with distinct hoppiness, and they're very refreshing. Great summer beers, available at either Brews location, 67th and Pecos, or at Colfax in York, and at fine liquor stores throughout the metro area. Pick up your Abbey 4-pack today and take home some Belgian-style badassery.
It's interesting.
Back to the show in just a second.
Maybe the chef wants to know.
But before we do that, I'll open up his microphone. Before we do that,
cliffhanger
what we were talking about bread.
Talking about bread, right?
Chef, I know you love bread, or at least I'm just totally guessing because I'm doing this live read. But if you don't love bread, I won't turn your microphone back on. Aspen Baking Company and aspenbaking.com. That's where you want to go. You want to go there to find delicious bread. No preservatives, no artificial coloring, no chemicals. They don't pack the stuff into their bread like that. They bake it fresh. You can order online. You can order direct. You can do Amazon Fresh if you're an Amazon Fresh person. But you go to aspenbaking.com, and if you're a bread person like me, you guys, this is bread. If you think Denver and you think bread, you think aspenbaking.com. And if you make it, they bake it. I try to come up with that thing. If you make it, they bake it. You said it was brilliant the first time I did it. We'll revise it. Maybe Chef can help me. Because
they make it and bake it.
Well, no, I know they do, but I'm trying to make it flow and feel good. If you make it, they bake it. Hey, bread, eat aspenbaking.com. Hashtag how's your Aspen?
Yes. All right, it's a Tuesday, September 15th. I don't know. Do you like bread, Chef?
Love bread.
God, I hope so. After that,
breaking. Yeah, I know. Chef Corey Baker joins us right now. Chef, first of all, welcome to the Modern Eater Show. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man. Where are you?
In my basement. Well, half basement. It's like a guard level basement.
What's that behind you? That's really an interesting piece right there.
Which one? That one?
Yeah, it looks like a ship or a boat.
Kind of looks like a big ant farm.
It's about 50 taxidermied birds.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I can't figure that out, what it is. All right, and then
get into that. Did you taxidermy any of those, or responsible for them being taxidermied?
No, I bought it at a what is it, like an estate sale / antique shop.
So I have to have that.
Gotcha.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, I'll take it.
I have to have that.
Yeah.
All right, this is cool. I just got an email. So Chef is here because we're making a great announcement. Leading off, man, that's first up to bat. And the fall dinner series, Monday, what's the date on that?
28th.
The 28th of September through Friday, the 2nd of October. So that whole week, we're going to have the fall dinner series. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here's the lineup. Batting first, it's Chef Corey Baker. Second, Kyle Mendenhall on Tuesday. Wednesday is Alex Seidel. Thursday, Scott Hiberneth from Angelo's. And then Friday, from Logan Street and Carboy, Rebecca Weissman. Chef Rebecca Weissman's going to clean it up on Friday. So that is just an all-star lineup. It's going to be done the Modern Eater style. We're going to stream. We're going to connect the community. We're going to connect the farms, the ranches, the breweries, the distilleries. We wanted to get you on and say, number one, hey, man, are you crazy for wanting to do this? You're nuts. But we like people being crazy. So we set out an ingredients list, and you're going to be getting this same ingredients list that Brian Freeman put out there. But Chef Alex Seidel already sent us back his menu. So you'll be working on a menu here soon. His is first course, a beet heirloom tomato salad with Fruition Farms feta. Sounds delicious. Mm-hmm. Second course, squash with apples and brown butter. That's going to be good. Third course is roasted trout with marinated grilled radish, pickles, and mustard. Entree is going to be beef short rib with smashed fingerlings and oyster mushrooms bordelaise, and then apple bread pudding for dessert. So Chef Alex is already on it, getting us back his menu. So the name of this game is we're giving you guys kind of a chef's basket for 40 people, 45, 40 people, 45. Right around there.
Maybe 50.
And you're going to have access to the same exact ingredients, and it's really Colorado-themed. Everything that we're getting is grown or raised here in Colorado. And then you're going to build a menu. So it's going to be kind of just 5 different styles of different chefs with the same ingredients. So we're looking forward to seeing what you come up with. But, Chef, here it is, Monday night. It'll be the 28th. You're going to be getting down and partying with us at the venue is Logan Street in Carboy. Have you been there?
I have not. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll check it out this week. Yeah.
We'll meet you over there, but it's going to be done outdoor, so al fresco dining, having a kitchen built out there, and basically you're just going to get out there and flex. And for the folks that don't know you, why don't you give a little brief bio of yourself and your background, and then we'll talk about what we can look forward to and some of your style going into that Monday night dinner of September 28th, the kickoff of the fall dinner series.
Yeah. So basically I'm just, I would say, traditionally Japanese cuisine trained. I haven't been to culinary schools or trained under French chefs or Italian chefs or anything like that. It's basically strictly Japanese. Both the sushi side and the kaiseki side of the cuisine. So not just, making sushi, making rolls, but the kitchen side of it of, seasonal vegetables, seasonal proteins, putting those together in a delicate way. I would say kaiseki is more of a super delicate, kind of closer to like the French style, but no butter, way of cooking.
Bright and fresh. Are you going to be bringing that influence into your menu here, or are you going to take a left-hand turn and start using butter and barbecue and things?
Well, I'll definitely probably fry something. It looks like I could probably, I might fry something, but I stay away from butter usually if I can. There's a lot of different, techniques like simmering, steaming, broiling or frying also, keeping the ingredients is I guess little the least amount you can touch them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you think about Colorado and Colorado sourcing? What do you see as far as agriculture here in Colorado that really spikes your interest?
I mean, they don't use dairy in most Japanese cuisine, so it's that's different, which I like to use, dairy in some forms, just like, Alex's farm, Christian farm, stuff like that. They do a lot of good dairy products and, cheeses and milks and stuff like that. But, they're vegetables like the tomatoes and potatoes and, fresh fruits and vegetables like that, especially right now, the harvest coming in. I think there's a lot to play with for sure.
You want to hear some of the stuff you're going to get to play with?
Yeah,
all
right.
Love
to.
So the protein's going to come from, we talked to you a little bit, so watch Colorado and Frontier Trout Ranch. Kermit Krantz, he's a trout rancher. He's got some delicious trout that he's going to provide for the dinner. So we've got trout. We've got from Harper Feeders, and that's just up north in Eaton, Colorado, outside of Greeley. Harper Feeders and their delicious lamb. He raises lamb. So you'll have some lamb to work with as well. Lamb shank, sirloin, and shoulder, your choice. And then to round that off, we've got a great cattle ranch that's in southeastern Colorado near Rocky Ford. It's where is it? Near Ordway. I'm no help. You're no help on that. That's okay. And so we're going to have some delicious Colorado raised beef from Centennial Cut. So we got beef, we've got fish, and we've got lamb. So keep those three things in mind. And then with Colorado, this is kind of cool. Chilies. We'll be back from Pueblo for the Chili Festival. So we'll be bringing back some chiles. And then we've got corn meal, yellow, white, or blue. We've got the heirloom tomatoes from Rocky Mountain Fresh. We've got Fruition Farm cheese. We've got spices from the Spice Guy. We have Smith Family Farms, local organic salad mix. Cheese Importer sundries, whatever you might need from Cheese Importers. Petraco Farms is really the main Centennial farm out of Brighton, Colorado, that we draw a lot of our produce from. So romaine, red, green, bib lettuce, little gem, spinach, kale, baby bok choy, cilantro, radish, whiter purple or onions, red or yellow, beets, red, gold, green and red cabbage, green beans. Just a lot coming out of Petraco Farms. Mushrooms from Hazel Dell. Again, chilies that I told you be coming in from Pueblo. And then Strohauer Farms has great potatoes, red, yellow, russet fingerlings, and shallots, and Rockalitas tortillas. So you have a lot to really pick from there. Is there anything that's sparking your interest off the top of your head that you're like, oh, man, I might be able to put that together?
Well, talking about it, yeah, I would definitely, I think I might use butter.
You might use some butter. All right.
Well, I mean, listen, there's 5 courses, chef, so you can go berserk on 3 and then and not clog anybody's artery for 2 or the other way around,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like doing like a steamed, so you can do basically like a foil wrapped in a nice presentation, but a foil wrapped trout with some butter, mushrooms, and vegetables. Sounds delicious.
That is delicious. So you're not going to go – now this is sushi grade fish. You can do some sushi if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I could also do other things, like something in the beginning, maybe with the salad, do a nice sashimi salad, ceviche or something like that. Yeah.
I'm going to let your imagination go wild and do nothing sushi related. I'm leaving that up to you. So I'll have these ingredients. Give me your email, would you?
Yeah. It's P as in Paul, H is in Henry, IRISH 27 at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. So phirish27 at gmail.com?
Yep.
Got it. What's PH Irish?
Filipino Irish.
I love it. And then 27 was how old you were at the time when you made that account?
My birthday, February 7th.
Oh, 27.
Yeah.
Perfect. You probably haven't had to explain that to anybody. What's your passcode on that account?
Oh, I'm not sure.
You're not sure, me either.
It's my social security number. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's probably, I should do that too, Jay. Okay, we're looking forward to it, Chef. You're kicking it off. It's the 28th. Mark your calendars because we're going to want you to join Chef Corey Baker, and we're going to have a pretty interesting supporting cast. Really, Corey here in Denver, and you may have heard Chef's name, and listening to his bio really doesn't speak to the amount of people that he's worked with and lives that he's touched. So he's the champion of the chefs, and we can't wait to have him on Monday, the 28th of September. Thanks, Chef. If you can think of anything you need. Actually, while we have you on here, is there a brewery or distillery you would like us to reach out to that you're friends with? If not, we have no problem. We can pair you up with a couple ourselves.
You could just throw me with pretty much anybody. I mean, distillery wise, I know a bunch of people, but I don't know if you guys are using them. Family Jones, good friends. Yeah.
Let me reach out to Nick.
I reached out to Nick.
Nick Touch is an old friend, probably almost 17 years, something like that.
Well, Jay, you've reached out to Nick?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk to him today.
Oh, you're talking to him today?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can't make that happen. How about brewery? Do you drink beer?
I don't drink a lot of beer. I drink whiskey and water.
Yeah, whiskey and water. All right, We're starting to figure this one. So Family Jones, they've got you covered on the whiskey. How about sake?
Sake, yeah, we could do sake.
Colorado Sake Company.
Yeah, Colorado Sake Company's good.
Cool, man. If you
think that's the only local one.
Yeah, no doubt. If you think of anything else that you would possibly need, you'll be back on the stream a few times. We're going to show you our sourcing. We're going on a road trip this next week with the gals from the Colorado Restaurant Association. I don't know why in the world they signed up for that, but we're going to go out and get you goodies, bring them back to you, and you'll be kicking it off. The Fall Dinner Series coming to a theater near you, actually Logan Street. We're going to launch.
Awesome.
We're going to launch the tickets tomorrow. Thank you, Chef. Appreciate your time, and looking forward to working with you.
Can't wait. Appreciate you.
No doubt.
Thanks, Chef.
Yeah, Chef Corey Baker. It's going to be a good time. And Juan Padro said, you emailed this to me, Jay.
Yeah, his email. Well, just because it's a little, P's and there's an H, and if you say it out loud, then you're like, what?
Been able to figure that one out.
I got Juan Padro on the phone. I said, hey, man, looking for a chef. Who do you recommend?
Came in high acclaim.
Yeah, he goes, man, he's like, right now, he goes, I would talk to Corey Baker. He goes, if you enjoy sushi, he's the best in the business in Colorado, in my opinion, and great guy, very talented chef. He goes, so if you're asking, he says, that's who I'm saying. I said, far out. And coincidentally, Corey helped out with one of the Summer Dinner Series dinners at the drop of a hat, put in a call from Elin Wenzel, and he's like, yeah, man, he's like, I love community, I love chefing. And I'm here for you. So it's fun to have him part of the Fall Dinner Series. Absolutely.
Fall Dinner Series, again, Monday the 28th, kicking it off with Chef Corey Baker. Tuesday with Chef Kyle Mendenhall. Wednesday with Chef Alex Seidel. Thursday with Chef Scott Hiberneth. Friday with Chef Rebecca Weissman. That's your Fall Dinner Series. Okay, cool. Yep, my mom chimes in on the stream. Fowler County. That's where the Centennial Cuts is from. What else, Jay? We got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be back. A lot of stuff to do. Brian, he's off today, taking care of some family stuff. He might even actually be off the remainder of the week so he can get a few of these things down. And then we'll catch back up with Brian soon, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, Jay. What are we working on?
We're working on the Fall Dinner Series and tomorrow's show, and we need to get Alex Seidel on and talk about his menu. We had Rebecca on. We'll get her on again, but I need to get Scott, and I need to get Kyle Mendenhall on to share a glimpse into their menus.
Tomorrow's a big day. We're going to launch those tickets, and just thank you to everybody involved. It is National Cheeseburger Day, so hopefully you'll get your fill, and thank you to Chris Fuselier for joining the show. Blake Street Tavern. So we'll wrap up this Tuesday. We'll rejoin you on a Wednesday. It is September 15th, and it's beautiful here in Colorado. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe, and keep it cool right here. We'll see you tomorrow as we kick the rock down the way.
No, I don't know. I got nothing.
Keep it cool.
No, yes, keep cool.
Keep it
know?
cool,
It's like,
man.
yeah, man, far out.
All right, we'll kick the rock back down the road. We'll see you tomorrow. The Modern Eater Show continues.